Hi, today I'll explain to you how I made $18,000 in 6 hours. I'll show you how I plan and call all the trades live before they happen, how I enter my positions to have zero drawdown and go straight to my profit. And at the end of the video as well, I'll show you the 5 keys, the 5 characteristics and habits that you should work on to be a consistent, profitable, successful trader. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Moises Altayo, and I've made over $1 million combined with my tradings and investment for the past 5 years at the age of 23. I'm actually turning 24 now in a month, the 4th of July. And this industry is flooded with fake gurus, scammers, and mentors who've never actually made a single dollar trading. You see them on Instagram flexing their fake watches, their Bugattis, their private jets. But what they do is not real trading. So I started this channel with the goal, with the purpose of showing you the real truth of how the markets really work and how to trade the right way with precision and objective logic and building long-term wealth. 1 year ago as well, I started my first ever and the only mentorship I'll ever do, which is the best in the industry. It's something real that actually changes lives and focus on high quality and mastery to achieve true wealth and prosperity as a trader. If you like to apply, you will find the link in the description of this video. It's the first link you'll see there. Just click it and it will take you to a video that you can watch and apply for the mentorship. And now let's begin with the video. You can see here all the executions. I took also a loss on US 30, which I'm not going to talk about in this video. It was during the Nvidia earnings. Then the sells on gold, that made me almost 4K. The sell in Euro USD. And then that same trade on gold, which is this one you see right here. I took it with 2 more accounts that I entered one lot. Here I made 4.5K and here 4.6. I have here the entry of Euro USD. You can see the trade here. It's this one that I made 6K with 5 lots, which is a relatively small amount, a small position for my account size. And funny enough, it could have been a $23,000 day because on the same day that I closed the trade here on gold, this trade, I entered along with 1 lot in gold in the morning in London. And when we took this high, I was up $5,500, but I decided to hold along. And today, Monday, I woke up like this with $10,000 profit. Here you can see the short that I took and then the longs. I added a position on Friday. And we open with the gap, and my take profit is around $15,000 as we take these highs, which I think we're going to get today. And I'm probably going to do another video breaking down this trade tomorrow or whenever I close it. But it was very great. Now let's go into the Discord and let me show you the whole plan, because the biggest market and the most important in the world is always DXY. Once you know where DXY is going, you have a plan for all the other markets like gold, Euro USD. And here I shared the exact thing that will happen on DXY for the week, the exact plan. And based on this plan is how I made the $18,000. So we're going to go through it right now and observe and understand everything I was seeing. You can see this 27th of May, 2025, Tuesday, and the trades were at the end of Wednesday and I closed on Thursday. So all call live before it happens. We may be forming the low of the year on DXY, because if you look at the higher time frame here on DXY, we are on inside of this big range that we formed the low in 2008 during the crisis, and now we've been going up. to the highs. We're above the 50% as well. We just hit it, which is why this is such a key level what we just hit right now. And I said, will we hold the current low made the 21st of April, the low that we made here? Or we'll take it? That is irrelevant for now. Likely we do a false breaker of it and then we go up. So looking at the monthly chart, it's likely that this new month of June, we may sweep this low, do a false breakout, and then on July is when we get the expansion up and continue with bullish dollar. For this week, we have a daily candle range form after we swept the 50% liquidity. And playing the higher time frame range we are in the monthly, right? Because we have 3 days to end the month and we are in a higher time frame range. Therefore, you can expect price to continue ranging. So you can play this higher time frame range that we're forming here on the weekly and monthly chart. I'm looking for bullish DXY for this week, at least to the target, which is exactly what we got. The target is these highs, and we took the high and then reversed and ended up the week chopping. You can see the lower time frame, we broke the key swing high and form a breaker now on the 1 hour, which aligns as well with a 4-hour FVG. We'll see all this right now. And the new 4-hour candle as well, it opened with no wick on the upside, right? Doing an open, low, high and close. Follow this to guide you in GU, EU, gold, and all the other markets you may want to trade. What I was saying earlier, DXY is the king. So let's start here. And once we form the low the 21st of April, we had a weekly candle range and we hit the 50% of it, rejected, and then got this move down. Then this week we closed back inside of this big candle range. But most importantly is this, that we swept all the liquidity from the low that we made to the high, the liquidity below the 50%, which were this low right here and this one. And now we close all these candles inside of this candle, right? Plus, if you look at the lower time frame, there are signs that we're forming a low. Like here. We have the 1 hour, this is the 15 minute, but we have a 4-hour FVG combined with the 1 hour key swing high, which we have broken. And now that 1 hour key swing high, which is this high right here that you see, I'm gonna mark it in red. As soon as we break this key swing high, I know that the low is in. Then we also had the 1 hour key candle right here. Why is this a key candle? 1KC. Because this was a candle that dig into all this liquidity, all these lows. Then we close above it, hold the 50% of it. And as soon as we break through this high, we confirm the low, form the breaker, and we don't even retrace into it. And then we go up to the target, which is the high that I had here marked, this target. And obviously touching the 50% of the price leg, which is the absolute high. And based on this, on London on Tuesday, after I saw this breakout, I entered my short on EU. And I was targeting very similar to the XY, from the low to the high, the 50% liquidity, which is below the 50%. And we got the exact move at the opening of Thursday. So Wednesday closed here. And then DXY opened with this gap. And this was like 2 a.m. for me. So I was about to sleep and I got the alert. So I stayed a little bit longer to close the trade. And you can see here 50% liquidity. My closing price was 1.12269. 2269, which is around here. So pretty much at the absolute low. Here you can see the execution. This line that I had here is the liquidity of the low that we saw. This low, the 50% liquidity. And this was the trade in EU, all based on the plan that I made here on DXY. And now this plan also helps me frame my trade with gold, with, by the way, it's going up, so I must be like $11,000 in profit right now. It's almost hitting my target. Pretty cool. I'm making 50K live while I'm recording the video. That's kind of cool. And then based on this plan, on DXY, I made this, right? Which is kind of crazy because it's exactly what happened. So what did we have? We had a 4KC after we swept liquidity. There's a candle, the big thick candle that digs into the key level or liquidity or both at the same time. We break truly below it. Now this is a key candle combined with a 4-hour FBG as extra confluence. We also had a 4-hour candle range here looking to reject the 50%. And I draw this line. I was targeting the breaker here from the low that we made and a daily inverse FBG. And then here I updated my students. I said this is in play. We hit the 4KC and the 4-hour FBG. And I was looking at this. And then here I share live after I enter my position. This is at New York, 9:30 New York. For me, it's 15:26 here in Spain. And then here's when I share the positions live that I had. And then here's when I close the trade on gold. I exit here with the first account. Here's the screenshots with the 3 accounts. And then when I was about to go to sleep, I closed the trade on EU. So in total, it was $18,000, which again could have been 23K, but now I'm up like $12,000-$15,000 in this trade on gold that I'm holding right now. And now let me show you what I said. I said I'm gonna give you the 5 keys to being a successful, consistent, profitable trader. And this is a document that is of my mentorship. You can see it has 75 pages, but we're just gonna read one of them quickly. I'm not gonna even read all. I just want you to take the main points. The first thing that you should work on is being a master, is focus and specialization. That means you are a master in specific markets. For example, I'm great in Euro USD, in gold, in Nasdaq. And then based on this, if Euro USD, for example, is in a range and it's very choppy and you don't like the chart or indices, you trade gold. If gold, you don't see any opportunities, you trade Nasdaq. You must trade with a style that matches your personality. That means, are you able to suffer a big drawdown, meaning you are in a trade and you are $50,000 in profit or $25,000, and then your target is $80,000. Are you able to hold that trade going from 25K to 10K profit? Because maybe some people, they just want to enter a trade and close that same trade in the same day or within hours. And this comes from knowing yourself, from doing self-development, understanding who you are. And what is most important, you develop this by having discipline and consistency. Not just inside of the charts with your risk management, believing in your strategy, but also outside the charts, right? I always say, if you cannot make your bed in the morning, if you cannot eat healthy, go to the gym consistently, take care of your family, how do you expect to be a successful trader? Everything starts on the outside of what do you do when no one is watching. And everything you do is going to transmute into the charts because life is an harmonious sequence. So everything is connected. Then you need something that most people neglect. That is a great risk management. Now, I can give you the best strategy in the industry, the most precise, the most accurate, following a consistent logic. However, if your risk management sucks, you will always fail, because what you want is to make money. You don't just want to be right on your predictions, right? You want to profit from them, which is why it's essential to know how much are you risking in every trade. What is your risk reward? All of these are essential things you must work on. And finally, but not least, is being adaptive and learning. Because your strategy is there, right? And if it's strong, it works in all conditions. And you always know what you're doing. However, you need to be adaptive, especially with these changing markets. It's not the same trading last year with Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, than now with Trump, right? The markets are more volatile. There's some uncertainty as well with the wars in Russia, in Israel. So all these things you need to take into account and be careful in the way you're trading. And this is it for today. I'll be posting videos more consistently. I'll try to do 2 every week. So I'm very excited for all the value I'm going to share with you and how we're going to grow together. Remember that you can check out the mentorship in the link below in the description. You can watch the video on my website. You can book a call and I'll get to know you. And if I see that you're a high quality individual, I will accept you into the mentorship and change your life. And I'll see you all very soon. Very excited. Incredible trades here, 18,000 in a day, which it's something I could only dream of when I started. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So this is what you get. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. If you sow the good seeds, you will reap the riches and wealth that follow. I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.